In the heart of a quiet, picturesque town in the USA, nestled among towering pines and surrounded by dense forests, there lay a mysterious lake. Locals whispered about its haunted history, but the truth was darker than anyone dared to imagine. Margaret, a once loving mother of two, succumbed to the shadows of schizophrenia that lurked within her mind, struggling to distinguish reality from the twisted visions that plagued her. She believed she had to free her children from the malevolent spirits that haunted the lake. One fateful night, gripped by the grip of her delusions, Margaret led her innocent children, Emily and Thomas, to the water's edge. The lake, shrouded in an eerie mist, bore witness to a mother's descent into madness. Margaret, her eyes vacant and haunted, clutched her children tightly as she waded into the murky depths. Whispers of despair echoed through the still night, as the water claimed the innocent souls of Emily and Thomas. The townsfolk were left in shock and mourning, grappling with the inexplicable tragedy that had befallen their community. The lake, once a source of solace and recreation, now carried a malevolent energy that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to venture near. Unbeknownst to the grieving townspeople, the spirits of the drowned children lingered, vengeful and tormented. As the years passed, the once thriving town fell into a gloomy malaise. Locals spoke in hushed tones of strange occurrences around the lake, whispers of children's laughter, distant cries, and glimpses of pale faces in the water. Some believed it was merely the collective grief of a community unwilling to let go, while others feared the supernatural had taken root. Curiosity lured teenagers seeking thrills and brave souls yearning to uncover the truth. They ventured to the lake under the shroud of darkness, unaware of the vengeful spirits waiting to exact their revenge. Those who approached the water felt an unsettling chill in the air, as if unseen eyes were watching their every move. The first victim, a curious teenager named Alex, disappeared without a trace. Locals dismissed it as a tragic accident, attributing the disappearance to the lake's treacherous depths. However, the whispers persisted, and a sense of foreboding gripped the town. Soon, others who dared to tread the path of the lake faced a grim fate. Their bodies, lifeless and cold, were discovered at the water's edge. The town's sheriff, a skeptical man with a penchant for logic, found himself unable to explain the inexplicable deaths that plagued the once peaceful community. Rumors spread like wildfire, casting a pall over the town. Desperation set in as families locked their doors and children were forbidden from venturing near. The cursed lake. In the darkness, the vengeful spirits of Emily and Thomas grew stronger, fueled by the anguish of their unjust demise. As the town teetered on the brink of collapse, a brave investigator named Emma arrived. Drawn by the tales of the haunted lake, unfazed by the ominous warnings, she delved into the town's history, uncovering the tragic tale of Margaret and her children. Emma sensed a connection between the past and the present, realizing that the spirits sought justice for the sins committed against them. Driven by a relentless determination, Emma embarked on a perilous journey to communicate with the vengeful spirits. As she stood at the water's edge, the air thick with tension, she spoke to the ethereal figures haunting the lake. The tormented souls of Emily and Thomas, once filled with rage, revealed the true source of their suffering, the unhealed wounds of a shattered family. Emma, guided by empathy and a desire for redemption, vowed to help the spirits find peace. Little by little, she unraveled the mysteries of the past, exposing the town's darkest secrets. In the process, she discovered that the sins of one tormented soul had cast a shadow over an entire community. As the truth emerged, the town faced a reckoning. Families grappled with the consequences of their silence and indifference. The spirits, no longer consumed by rage, found solace in Emma's efforts to right the wrongs of the past. The haunted lake, once a symbol of sorrow, became a memorial to the lost souls who had suffered at its depths. But as the town began to heal, an ominous question lingered in there: had the spirits truly found peace? Or was there more darkness waiting to be unearthed? The once quiet town, scarred by tragedy and redemption, held its breath, wondering if the shadows of the past would continue to haunt its future. In the wake of Emma's revelations, the town oscillated between relief and apprehension. As the haunted lake transitioned from a place of fear to a somber memorial, some residents felt a newfound peace. Yet others couldn't shake the lingering unease that gripped their hearts. Emma, determined to unravel the remaining mysteries, delved deeper into the town's history. Her investigation led her to Margaret's family, who had long carried the burden of shame and guilt. The surviving relatives harbored secrets of their own, afraid that exposing the truth would unleash a fresh wave of torment upon the town. The once skeptical sheriff found himself torn between his duty to uphold the law and the unsettling forces that seemed to defy explanation. Emma's persistence began to wear down his skepticism, as he witnessed unexplainable phenomena and heard the spectral whispers that echoed through the town's abandoned streets. As the veil between the living and the dead blurred, Emma discovered a pattern in the tragedies that had befallen those who dared to approach the lake. Each victim had a connection, no matter how distant, to the original crime: Margaret's descent into madness and the drowning of her children. The spirits, it seemed, sought justice not only for themselves but for the twisted legacy that had spawned their torment. The town's residents, plagued by guilt and fear, grappled with a choice: confront the sins of the past or continue to live in the shadow of the malevolent spirits. Whispers of a long-forgotten pact, made in desperation to protect the town from the vengeful ghosts, resurfaced. As Emma unearthed the buried truths, she uncovered a web of deception woven by generations past. Meanwhile, the spectral presence of Emily and Thomas lingered, their once vengeful spirits now tinged with a desperate plea for resolution. Their ethereal whispers beckoned to those who remained entangled in the web of lies, urging them to unveil the full extent of the town's dark secrets. In the midst of the unraveling mystery, a mysterious figure emerged: an enigmatic woman with a haunting familiarity. Her spectral form seemed to bridge the gap between the living and the dead, a harbinger of both redemption and retribution. Some claimed she was a long-lost relative, while others whispered that she was a manifestation of the town's collective guilt. As Emma drew closer to the truth, she found herself entangled in a supernatural chess game, with the spirits manipulating the threads of fate. The boundaries between the physical and metaphysical world blurred, leaving the town teetering on the precipice of an otherworldly reckoning. Unbeknownst to the townsfolk, a celestial alignment loomed on the horizon, a rare cosmic event that would either seal the spirit's fate or unleash a new wave of darkness upon the town. As the clock ticked down to the fateful night of celestial convergence, the haunted lake became a focal point for the impending collision between the living and the dead. The townspeople, caught in the crossfire of a supernatural battle, awaited the approaching celestial alignment with a mixture of trepidation and anticipation. Little did they know that the final chapter of their town's twisted saga was about to unfold, with the fate of the living and the restless spirits hanging in the balance. The lingering question remained: would the town find redemption, or would the darkness that lurked beneath its surface consume it once and for all? The night of the celestial alignment arrived, casting an eerie glow upon the town and the once haunted lake. As the heavens aligned in an otherworldly dance, the supernatural forces that had long been dormant began to stir. Emma, now fully aware of the town's spectral secrets, stood at the water's edge, her senses heightened by the impending cosmic convergence. An enigmatic figure, the bridge between the living and the dead, materialized beside her, with a voice that echoed through the ages. She spoke of atonement and the choice that lay before the town. The townspeople, drawn to the lake by an inexplicable force, gathered in a collective hush. Whispers of the past intertwined with the howling wind, carrying with them the weight of generations haunted by the sins of their ancestors. Suddenly, the water rippled with an otherworldly energy, and the spirits of Emily and Thomas materialized before the crowd. No longer driven by vengeance, their ethereal forms emanated a sense of sorrow and longing. Their gaze met Emma's, and in that moment, a silent understanding passed between the realms. An enigmatic figure stepped forward, revealing herself as a guardian spirit tasked with guiding the town towards redemption. She implored the living to confront the buried truths and release the lingering spirits from their torment. The cosmic alignment, she explained, offered a rare opportunity for the town to break free from the cycle of darkness that had bound it for decades. As the celestial event reached its zenith, a surge of energy enveloped the lake, connecting the living and the dead in a transcendent dance. Memories long suppressed emerged, revealing the depths of the town's complicity in the tragedy that had befallen Margaret and her children. One by one, the townspeople faced the ghosts of their past, acknowledging their roles in the town's twisted legacy. Confessions and apologies echoed through the night, mingling with the spectral whispers that permeated the air. The lake, once a symbol of sorrow, now shimmered with a cleansing light, reflecting the collective catharsis of the townsfolk. In a climactic moment, the spirits of Emily and Thomas ascended towards the cosmic convergence, their forms dissolving into the celestial tapestry. As the town collectively exhaled, a profound sense of peace settled over the once troubled waters. An enigmatic figure, her purpose fulfilled, faded into the cosmic energies that enveloped the town. The celestial alignment waned, leaving the night cloaked in a serene silence. The townspeople, changed by the experience, gazed at the now tranquil lake with a newfound understanding of the interconnectedness of the living and the dead. Emma, having played a pivotal role in the town's redemption, lingered by the water's edge. As dawn approached, the first light of a new day illuminated the once haunted lake, its surface reflecting the promise of a fresh start. Yet, as the town embraced the dawn of a new era, a subtle murmur of uncertainty lingered in the air. The secrets of the past had been laid bare, but the scars left by the haunting legacy would take time to heal. The townspeople, forever changed, faced an uncertain future as they stepped into the light, hoping to build a community free from the shadows that had held them captive for far too long.